Hi everybody, I'm Ginige, and here I have one of the most anticipated books in the recent times in Sri Lanka. How internationally sponsored regime change made a mockery of democracy in Sri Lanka. The conspiracy to oust me from the presidency by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The former president, to whom I was an advisor, especially during the most difficult period of his tenure. It was a pleasure reading this book because it's an objective reflection of the incidents and events that occurred starting from 2015 actually. It's also a little sad because it brought back a lot of the unpleasant memories from this time. But I also feel proud of Mr. Rajapaksa for taking the time and effort to write his story, his first-hand experience of this whole scenario, debacle, whatever you would like to call it. And I personally feel proud that I was able to stand by him during this most difficult time of his life, and also I would say in my life and the lives of many other people. You would have read and heard versions of this by different people. Several people wrote books on this, but I always said that it's not complete until the very person that was targeted, the very person that was at the center of the whole thing writes his story. So here we have it now. So I invite you all to grab a copy. It'll be available at all leading bookshops starting from tomorrow onwards. Grab your copy before it finishes, because already this is making quite a commotion in the media circles. I think what's really interesting about this book is that it has a lot of facts. So I think the author, Mr. Rajapaksa, has tried to sort of be very factual and objective as much as possible. So it's not a sort of a mudslinging, blame passing kind of book. It's a very honest, reflective, objective explanation of the whole thing as somebody who saw it from the middle. And there's a lot of lessons to be learned for all of us. There are huge life lessons in this book. Anybody who is interested in becoming a leader, not just a political leader, but a leader in anything, I think they'll find it really interesting to read this book, because it gives an insight to how this man, this magnanimous personality, sees these scenarios. How he analyzes, how he perceives these external threats, and how he sort of responds to them. I think that's. I haven't really read such a book, particularly from somebody who has been who survived a regime change of this sort. So it's probably the first time that a president who was removed by a regime change mission wrote his story, his or her story. So it's one of a kind book. There are lots of lessons to be learned, a lot of reflection, and finally, I think it leaves. When you read it, you realize how, because of his deep understanding and his sort of way of approaching the problem, we were able to evade a huge catastrophe, but it still leaves us with a huge challenge for the future, particularly for national leaders of this country who will have to lead the country in the years to come. Well, I'm going to elaborate on some of the content in this book in the weeks to come, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. If you would like to share your thoughts after reading the book, it will be available from tomorrow onwards. So, the conspiracy to oust me from the presidency. Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Thank you.